All right, Mike, it's time for our daily Faceoff inbox question of the day. Hashtag AskDFO. Hit us up on Twitter. Ask us your questions. Mike, my question for you, who's had the best individual performance in the playoffs this year? One game, single game. It's been an interesting spring in the sense that we've had 8 hat tricks so far in the playoffs, and that's double the number that we had last year. We're not even halfway there yet. There's only 4 in 2021. There were 6 in 2020 and another 4 in 2019. So a trend has been going up. Lots of hat tricks. Who stood out to you?
Well, we could stick on hat tricks. We could look at recency bias with what McKinnon did last night, which was unbelievable hat trick and an assist for Colorado. But for me, it's what Connor McDavid did in Game 7 against the LA Kings in the first round. I mean, you talk about putting a game on your back. Like, he played 27 minutes that game. He's forced to do way more than he has due to injuries, due to other circumstances. Has a huge goal, a primary assist, and he just, to me, it put a stamp on that series and himself as a player defensively as well, Frank. He's playing 200 feet. He had 4 hits that game as well. He carried his club. And to me, that was a big stamp for the Edmonton Oilers. What do you have?
Well, it's really funny because, people who watch the Oilers closely, and I asked this question the other day, I said, which game has been McDavid's best in the postseason? They would actually say Game 6 against the Kings. So you say Game 7. I would argue that it was maybe Game 3 of the second round. Like, it's a fun debate, and he's been absolutely ridiculous this postseason. And it's another reason why I'm not willing to bet against the Oilers in Game 5 as they have the chance to close it out. I feel like Connor McDavid's going to take every opportunity to make sure that they don't have to stretch the series out, could maybe even get a little bit rest as well. When I think of best individual single game performance, it's going to be Jake Ottinger, Game 7 in Calgary. He made the entire Saddle Dome nervous. That performance was, I do get some benefits from the goalie union there as you are a member, and nice to have you on side, but nice to pick a goalie, even though it was a losing effort. I thought you mentioned Connor McDavid putting a stamp on that series for the Edmonton Oilers. To me, that was Ottinger's stamp in terms of making his presence known around the NHL as not just a top flight goaltender with potential, but also as a big game goaltender as well. I think that's going to serve him really well in his career. And I love his reaction afterwards saying, I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that we're not in this same spot next season.
Yeah, and I'll give you a little insight on Ottinger. When I was in Dallas's organization, he was a prospect there, and they were thinking about getting him out of school early. And they have always loved his mental makeup. They've always thought he was mentally ready. The rest of his game needed to follow suit, and now he's the total package.
Yeah, it really makes you rethink the idea of using a first-round pick on goaltenders. Changed my opinion on it if you can find a special one in the last few years, and I think teams certainly will have as well with the impact that goalies make